Recording has started. Podcast Thursday. Matty Mainwaring. How are we, sir?
Podcast Thursday. I'm great. Thank you, pal. How are you? Are you well?
Mate, I'm really well. It's my favourite time of the week, Podcast Thursdays.
It's a cracker, especially when we're stringing wins together like we have been.
Oh, mate, doesn't it make life easier?
Yeah, it does, mate. We said this a few weeks ago, didn't we? A couple of wins on the spin changes the momentum, changes the tide, and that's exactly what's happened. I think if you tie in a few little clean sheets as well, it's just so encouraging.
Yeah, I think we were just saying off air then, like a few weeks ago, it looks like Sutton have got the league. It's all done. Let's go for the playoffs. Yeah. And now, win our games in hand and we're joint top.
It's back open. I mean, it's an outside chance, but it's a chance. I think 5, 6, 7 games ago, we'd have been pleased with the playoffs. I think now it's a different story altogether.
Football aside for a sec, how are you finding life at the moment with all these lockdown easings or whatever you're supposed to call it? Things going well?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's just roll with the punches. I think I'm hoping it's the last. It's the last of the lockdowns, but you just never know, do you? I won't hold my breath. No.
Speaking of not holding our breath, Dicko, I noticed he was on another podcast this week, and now he's not showed up. I think they might have tapped him up. Because we've got a different Liam tonight. We've replaced him anyway with Liam Hogan, who could I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to say it too early, but he could be the man who goes down in the record books as the guy who captained County back into the Football League. That'd be some honour.
That'd be a wicked honour. I'm sure Liam will be over the moon to be able to say that in so many games' time. That is an absolute dream for a player in the peak of the powers like Liam is. That's exactly what he'll want, and it puts him on the map as a player. And it's great to be a part of something like that. So let's cross our fingers.
Should we bring him in?
Let's bring him in.
Stockport County captain Liam Hogan. Thank you very much for joining us on Stockport County Live tonight. How are you, sir?
Hey guys, you okay?
Yeah, we're doing well.
Really good, thanks. Yeah, really good.
I think we've got a little bit of a lag. I'm hoping it'll sort itself out.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, no, do you know what? The club's in a great place, both on and off the pitch at the minute, and there's smiles literally around every corner. So, we're a proper togetherness group, ranging from whether it's the chefs and the people who are working behind the scenes on the pitches, to the players, to the Simon the director. Everyone's on the same level, and it's great to see because that's why we're being successful so far. Everybody speaks to each other, and everyone's got an interest in what everybody's doing, and you can really feel the togetherness. And I think that's quite strong to take. When you actually go out on the pitch, that you've got the backing. We know we've got the fans. It's just disappointing that they're not actually physically there for us. But when you feel your teammates and everybody sort of around the club who are obviously willing us to go and do it for everybody in the Stockport community and beyond, because obviously we know how vast the supporters fly. So, like I said, we're trying to keep balanced at the same time, but we know that within the group we're capable of doing something really special. So hopefully that can happen.
Do you know what, mate? We were talking about programme notes before. I was saying I put a few things down, and what you've just said there, I'm actually quite glad you've said it, because it sort of echoes what I was saying, that what comes from within the changing room is obviously what we see on the pitch, but that's affected by everything around the club. That's affected by the mood of the board of directors, transcending throughout the staff, the people that you interact with, the coaching staff and physios and everything else. It all contributes, and at the moment, it seems like it's a really positive, really kind of kicking on attitude.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's an environment that any player might know. You want to thrive. Everything's there. It's set up for you. There's no real excuses. You just really have the discipline of your own sort of self to manage. And when you get to training, the new training ground we've got, you drive in, you feel like a real football player. You feel like you're at the top end of the leagues. You drive in, you see the complex, and you obviously see everybody who's beaming with pride of wearing the club badge on their uniform and things like that. And you proper feel this sort of you don't normally get that a lot, and you get this feel of like a family scenario, and you want to do it for everybody, not just for yourself. And Like I said, the lads are producing some of probably the best. They'll tell you some of the best sort of performances on the pitch and in training, and just as people, they're performing, as the best possible person they could be at the minute because of what we've got and the help we've been given and how much we want to do this all as a group.
Let me just ask.
Sorry, Chris. Go on.
Oh, you go on.
No, I was just going to say, as an ex-player, I know personally how important a clean sheet is as well as a win. Has that been the case? Is the gaffer encouraging those sort of performances? Because you do get some gaffers that would like to win 3-2 or 5-4. They want exciting football. They want fans off the seats. But you also get gaffers that don't want to concede. They want to be strong at the back. They want to shut up shop when they get a couple of goals, a few goal lead. Has that been the case? Is he really big on keeping rock solid at the back and building on that?
Yeah, I mean, even not just as an out-and-out sort of defender. I think the actual group, they want to be the best in all of the departments, and whether it's the striker or a midfielder that wants to contribute to keeping a clean sheet, as well as you've got to find a really good balance. And obviously, we've come up against it a couple of times this year, where a lot of teams are set up to frustrate us, and we know that if we risk too much or we push too much within our shape and commit too many numbers, that we can leave the back door open a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And probably a couple of times this year, we probably tried to force the win and conceded, on the back end of doing that. And it's, we speak about with Bash and with Keno and Sam and JJ and the lads and Ben. The goals that we've conceded have been sort of sloppy, really sloppy, and no one's really scored, a great goal against us. And I think that's because we're probably, feeling slight pressure that, we have to go and push ourselves onto sort of getting wins. And teams have obviously been clever, and the analysis is readily available now for games and stuff, and they'll see that. And it's the next challenge for us then to get the balance right of making sure, the gaffer's really big, like you say, on saying keeping the back door shut and just putting things into place that keep you mindful of when you're trying to push for those goals, that things don't go down the other end. And you've probably seen that in the fact that we're conceding the least amount of chances. The goals have they wasn't going in as such, but I think someone put a stat up. I think it's only a few goals in 1,000 minutes of football, so it's a really good record. And it's not just for Ben, it's not just for me, it's for the whole group who've contributed to it. And I think the structure of the positioning of the lads on the field have really helped with that. With things like we've lost the ball and the transition of getting the ball back, we've been able to do that a lot quicker. So we're stopping teams from having a lot of possession, barring Tuesday night, which was a difficult, another challenge in itself, because I thought Kingsland did really well with the possession they had.
Do you know what? One thing I really liked picking up on then, Liam, was you were talking about all the names at the back. Now, when you speak about football clubs who've got a lot of players, you quite often talk about the front lines, who the strikers, they've got the attacking players. But County at the back are so strong in depth, because you've come in. There's Ash Palmer already there, Keno, you mentioned JJ, Sam Minihan. You've also got Jamie Stott, who one of our best defenders in recent years. Do you know what I mean? This team is so strong in depth now. It's got to fill you with confidence when you look at what could be congested fixtures because we're playing catch up because of COVID and whatever else. It certainly gives me comfort that there's that much depth there.
Yeah, and that again goes back to training and knowing that. I think it might have been Alex Ferguson said it a while, and some of the United players at the time said, their toughest game throughout the week was in training, because the 11 that wasn't starting played against the 11 that was, and it's so close to call, and we could sort of field another 11 that would be more than capable of being in a similar position than what we're in now. And that it's testament to the recruitment that we've done, and it's also testament to the boys, because there's a lot of players that will probably want to come and play X amount of games here, and it's not been the case. And they've had to wait their time, or they've been sat out, and it might have been the fact that they've played and then gone straight in the stands and not even been on the bench. But then the day after, or a couple of days after, when training started, fully committed. You know, you don't see them sulking, you don't see them causing a scene. You just see them pushing. And for me, if I was a central defender, knowing that I had the likes of Keano, Ash, you know, those players, Jamie Stott, JJ, that were behind me, my performance can't drop. And if 11 players at the start in the game have that same feeling, then that takes you to that next level. And then knowing when you do pick up your injuries and your suspensions that, like you say, you're more than comfortable. And I know this group already now, and I fully trust every single individual that's in there. And that's something that's great to know that, you know, you look alongside you and, you know, the lads are really putting it in and doing it. And, you know, to a man this year, I think we deserve to be where we are. We probably deserve to be a little bit higher. But to be fair, there's probably, I would say, whether it was to win it this year or go up this year, it's probably going to be one of the biggest achievements, you know, in any of the divisions throughout, you know, the times that we've had with the pandemic and the stop-start stuff. I think whoever can manage this and get themselves up and out of the league, you know, it's completely hats off to them, because it's been, you know, like they say, an unprecedented year. So we're in a great place, like we spoke about then. So we'll be in a good place to manage whatever comes in the next sort of 9 games.
Yeah. Let me just ask, sorry, they're quick. How is this different? How is it different at County, and you know the promotion feel or the talk or the atmosphere around training, around matches? I mean, obviously crowds, I guess, previously make a big difference, but you've been involved in these runs before. How is it different at Stockport?
I think I really get the feel now of how much this is really going to mean to the community, and like I said, nationwide, really, where all the Stockport fans are and things like that. And you get the sense that there's been an improvement since obviously they dropped right down each year upon year. And we was probably so unfortunate last season to miss out on a chance to compete in the playoffs, because I think if the games had been left, we'd have probably, you know, using the momentum that we had, gone into the playoffs and you know, had a good outside chance again. This year, the odds are a little bit different, because you sign who you sign and you assemble a squad and you have the management team that you have, and you clear favourites. And you know, we know the league, and it doesn't work like that. You know, you can't go into any game being a favourite. You know, you kick off and you earn the right within that game. Each game is completely different. There's so many different things, conditions and things that can be affected. And like I said, to win a championship would obviously for me be the best thing, and it'd be one that obviously I've not got yet for this league. It shows that you're the outright, you know, high performing team from the whole season. Whether you have dips or whether you have successful patches in that, if you come out at the back end of those, it's 42 games for us now as number one, then obviously you couldn't have done any more. So the niceness of it was that obviously with Salford, you get the luxury that a few of the players get to go down to Wembley and experience that, which is completely, you know, on another level anyway. But the risk of going through the lottery of the playoffs and stuff, you know, like I said, any game, anything can happen on the flip of a coin. So you'd rather see if you can back yourself now in these 9 games, which is what we'll do. We'll back ourselves in every single game to go and win it. That you don't want to really leave it to anything like the playoffs. But what we would have is a nice little dangle of the carrot if it was playoffs, that there could be some sort of supporters entering the stands. And you know, I had the roar when I walked out the back end of last season at the Cheadle end, and you know, when I scored as well. And I really want to feel that again. So it'd be nice to share that and sort of put a big light on, you know, what's been a really tough year for a lot of people, and really give them something to look forward to.
Could you imagine, Matty, County at Wembley this season with fans all of a sudden being allowed in? It's scary to think how many we'd take. Yeah,
it's frightening. I mean, how many were there when we played Rochdale? I think it's 36,000. And I think we had the better share of that, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, call it 20, 22, something like that. I mean, to get back in the Football League, I would imagine the fact that they've missed the football for how long now? A year and a half, on and off. I think we'll far exceed that. I think everyone will be queuing up for tickets.
Hogs, has it crossed your mind? We mentioned it in the intro there, and I'm sorry if it hasn't, and I've put this pressure on you. Has it crossed your mind that you could very well be the guy that goes down in the record books as the player who captained County back into the league?
I think for any player, you can have your dreams. You need your dreams. They're the ones that drive you. And obviously, stuff that happens sort of internally throughout your career will spur you on in different aspects, whether it was an injury, whether it was being left out of certain sides or missing out a previous Wembley appearance when I was at Fleetwood and I wasn't involved in the squad. And I just have things that go around and sort of helped me a little bit, really, because I always wanted then to get back to Wembley and say to people, look, I missed out the first time, but it's not the end of the world. You can pull yourself back up from a knockdown and go again. And it's just sort of a level-headedness as well to mix with that, to then say that, well, your day-to-day, your short-term targets, they've got to be spot on. Your basics have to be spot on to give you any sort of hope of reaching that dream, that end goal, which is a bit further off in the distance. And I've really sort of thrived on being a captain and having the extra responsibility of worrying about, what all the players, including the academy players, are thinking, how they're feeling, and it gets me in sort of the best possible preparation to go into any game. And then for me, it's autopilot. As soon as I cross the white line, I'm from me now off the pitch, family man, and just generally like really laid back. I'm completely different on the pitch, and it's sort of a winning machine that I've had sort of built up for myself, from setbacks, from successes, from what's worked well for me. And don't get me wrong, I'm looking and a few moments in the sleep and that, thinking, if I could be the one, I just want to be part of the group that do it, because if I am, obviously I'm here in the present, and it means it's happened now, and the sooner the better for the club, for the community, for the fans. It'd be brilliant. And like I said, I'm only a small part of the workings that's happening here, and there's a bigger picture at play, and I think we're in really good hands.
You mentioned being a family man. I should say we heard in commentary the other day, I think John Kieran mentioned it, you've had some big family news recently.
Yeah, and there's another reason why we need to get promoted, so I can go on holiday and go missing.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
twins.
Liam, I don't want to cut you off because that's a wonderful story. However, let me ask you a question. As a club captain, if a player shows up late, what kind of trouble does he get in?
Oh, is he here? Well, to be fair, we've got a wheel now. We have to spin the wheel.
How are we, chaps? How are we, Liam? How's big Ogie there today?
But he's good, mate. He's good. He's really good. Apparently, you've got a spin of the wheel, mate.
Not a problem, mate. Is it roulette?
What are some of the things on the wheel?
To be fair, you'd probably put the one on for a 45-second dance or a song or something. I know you.
Like that all day, mate. All day.
So sorry, you were saying you've got twins on the way, Hugs, which is amazing news.
It is amazing, and it's going to be a lot of work. But I'm really excited. I'm somebody that wants to jump into things two-footed and just really put everything into and see what happens. And having my daughter already, she's 2 now. She's like 12, but they give you different aspects and looks of life. And there's a lot been going on in football at the minute, and even in the world. And you just sort of come away from your job sometimes when you've had, a game that's not gone your way or whatever, and things just change. It's like the old graphic of the dark side and the light side. It's like someone's just shined a ray of sunlight when you walk in the door and she runs over. It's really lovely to know that. Obviously, yeah, we're sports performers, but at the end of the day, we are humans, and just to have that good balance of being grounded off the pitch and having sort of strong family around you is massive. So we've noticed that recently with obviously the news of Connor and things like that. It's probably another good reason why this group is so tight that it is.
just on the Connor thing, and I'll let Matty and Dicko jump in and say a few things as well. But just on the Connor thing, just finally for me, this flag that's been made it's just an amazing statement that the flag supporting Connor, but then the fact that so many people have contributed to it as well, and they're saying, I think I'm right in saying I saw on social media, it's going to be put in a position where the flag is in the main stand, so it'll be near the players, and it's going to be able to be seen from the video stream on the camera and stuff. I mean, these guys say it every week. The fans around County, they make a special feeling around the club. I guess as a player, when you see this kind of this genuine, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but this genuine kind of motivation from the fans, if you like, that's put forward, it must be reassuring as a player.
Yeah, like I've got to go back to before, like the club's in great hands, and what I've noticed already while I've been here is that they don't do things by half, and it's sometimes as a player it's a bit overwhelming, and you sort of think, do I deserve this sort of treatment, this sort of comfort of having everything around me in place? Because I'm somebody that comes from a background where I literally got out on my feet and worked and did all the all the stuff I could do to make something of it. And even in football, I'd work when I was at Halifax and all the way back to Woodley, Dicko, and you work, train, you're coming in late nights, you're trying to get food from petrol stations, and you're just trying to make things work and keep it as seamless as you can. And now coming into this environment, it's unbelievable. And like I said, we're only thriving, the players. So I can only imagine, even when the fans come back in and they see the refurbishments, they get to feel them. We've been round the ground. It's fantastic, and the way that they've kept the history and modernised it. The fans are in for the sports are in for a real treat when they come back, and they deserve that too. For such a, I played for Salford against Port a couple of seasons back, and just the atmosphere and the amount of fans they generate that take to long journeys, they deserve this as well. So it'll be great to see, their faces and get the feel of them when they're in the stadium, because at the minute there is a bit of a distance between players, supporters, and that, and it can't be helped because it's all watched on live stream. Yeah. When you're scoring a goal, you see it in the Premiership. There's not really any feeling. Yeah, the players feel it between us. We know how important goals are, and tackles and headers and corners. But when you get the shouts from the crowd and stuff, and you sort of feel that together, that's when you feel the football's back. And I think Stockport probably do that better than most. Not just talking about this league, I'm talking about a few leagues up.
Yeah, you're not wrong. What was Dicko like to play with? Was he all right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of games with Dicko, to be fair. I think there's a couple of charity games with him as well, Dicko. He runs a show.
Played against him a couple of times. I think the last time we played against each other, you were at Tranmere, I was at Guiseley.
You were, yeah.
National. And he's just horrible to play against. He's strong, he's quick. And I'd put a little bit of timber on then, so I'd definitely slow down a bit. It weren't pleasant, mate. It weren't nice for anyone to watch.
Yeah, just had to get somewhere near, so you didn't rifle one in the top bin, though.
Matt, have you ever played?
Say that again. Have I played against Liam?
With or against?
No, neither have Liam. I don't think.
No, I don't think you have, actually.
I don't think so. No.
Because you're all Salford, lad. Is that right?
Yeah. From pretty nearby, aren't we?
Yeah, I know, Matt.
How old are you now, Liam?
Finished football, and he went to his boxing, didn't you, mate, and things like that. So I see on the social media and that, yeah, I come across him quite a bit. So, but I know he's a great player, mate. What's that, mate?
How old are you now?
Guess.
21.
Yeah. No, I'm 32, mate, but I don't feel it.
32. So obviously, back in the Salford Sunday League and the younger days, obviously you were a few years younger than me. But who was your team? Who did you play for back in the younger days?
To be fair, it was quite good. Earlham Catholic Club.
Earlham getting day, mate. They've produced some players then. So obviously, when I was when I'd been released from Blackburn, I was at Earlham. I was at Earlham as well.
Yeah. Well, I played a little bit at Earlham at Silver Street, but not much. And this comes back to a little bit of a story before I even got involved full time. I was just playing and didn't really see it being my job, or just literally went with my mates. And it was literally from there, I ended up going to America to coach out there.
Yeah.
And I come back and I knew Sam Walker and Mark Haslam, and they were at Woodley. Just said, come down and play and see what the scripts, because obviously Sammy's a great lad. Sarsi was there as well at the time, Anthony Sarcevic, and really good side. Really good side. Who was that?
Millsy.
Yeah, so we had like Millsy, Gav Salmon, Clive Brown was playing a little bit.
Clive Brown, mate, with the Woodley days.
Jeff Whitley. Yeah, there was loads.
So Mills is now the deputy head at my stepson's high school.
Really?
So when I get that phone call and he's been a little shit at school, I'm like, listen, I get first hand info, so you better watch yourself.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Liam,
you need that as well. You need that.
It's been a pleasure having you on. I mean, to have the Stockport County captain on here I've got to say, you've been a really good ambassador, because I know that it's been a season of change and a lot's been going on, and every time you've stepped forward and spoken really well. So long may it continue, mate. We're all right behind you.
And he stretched that armband as well, by the way, with them guns.
Look at the size of them. Yeah, that fit around my head, that.
Right, well, Liam, we'll let you crack on, but thank you very much for joining.
We'll see you, Liam, mate.
See you later, Skip.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, I've removed the wrong Liam. There we go.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, pal.
Come back.
Got rid of the makeshift Liam and kept the proper one. Cheers, pal.
Well, listen, me and Matty, we've got to have a meeting of the elders now.
Just a song will sort it.
What do you want?
Just a song, mate. That'd be lovely.
Any song?
Yeah, go on.
Go on. Give me a song and I'll sing it.
Just hold on.
Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. Home. Nailed it, mate.
Nailed it, mate. Yeah.
So what did I miss? What have I ever missed much, lads?
Well, we thought we'd lost you. We thought you'd signed on a permanent deal.
What we're under the cosh? I'm missing. I'm in demand, mate. I'm in demand. I always come back home, mate. I'm a home bird. I always come back to county.
No, you've not missed anything. We were talking about lockdown haircuts. I meant to ask Liam Hogan actually how he got through lockdown hair, but I think he'd done all right actually throughout lockdown. He's managed to do all right. But and look what I got as well. I bought a cap.
Thank God, because where's your head gone? Hey, thank that other hat was horrendous, by the way. So I'm glad you bought it.
Off?
Hey, all you need now is one of them thingy jackets. The hooligan.
Do you want to hear a story? Do you want to hear a story?
He's got Millwall away.
I was in
London
and Brighton, as you know, earlier this week.
How was it,
mate? I'll tell you the stories off there. So I'm down there, and it was really hot and really sunny, and we're doing a lot of filming. So I bought a cap. On the first day, I bought the cap. I woke up in my hotel room on day 2, and I'd lost it.
Hungover? Was you hungover?
I'm not obliged to reply to that.
Yes, good lad.
What was you down there for, Chris?
Say again?
What was you down there for?
I was doing some work in the boxing world.
Oh, was you?
Again, I'll tell you off air. It was good though. I'll tell you what I did do. I went on some nice sightseeing in Brighton.
Did you see the little Taj Mahal thing?
No.
Not seen the little castle? No, in down in the city centre. There's like a little I can't remember what it's called. It's like, it looks like the Taj Mahal. It's like a small Taj Mahal, and it was used by royalty years and years and years ago. It's it's lovely. Some very nice sights on there in Brighton, especially at night time. Oh, go on, lad. That's a lovely sight. That's a better sight.
But yeah, no. So anyway, I lost the hat. So the rest of the week, I thought, I'm not buying another one. I don't wear them very often. And then when I got home, it was just there in the bottom of my bag. So now I've got a cap.
I like it. Better from you. I don't think I've ever seen Matty wearing a cap, actually.
Could happen.
One for the future.
Could happen. Remind me next week. I'll see.
We're getting involved.
Yeah, get involved. Yeah, see if I'll dig one out. Remind me next week.
Must be a TMT one knocking about, or an MTM one.
I can't think if I've got one anymore. I'll have a look.
We'll sort one out. Right, boys. Let's talk football, because at the moment we're going strength to strength to strength. We spoke about it before. We said a few weeks ago, we were kind of saying Sutton have got the league wrapped up. Let's try and finish as high as we can in the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, we're in this position where
back in a mix.
If we win, do you know what we are? I'm going to say it. I think we are in the title race.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, football comes at you fast. You boys know that better than anybody. But it's crazy. We should expect it, because when we won the league a couple of years ago, we were 12 points behind at one point. When we did things in the 90s, we had terrible starts to the season, and we went on to do really well. But I'm not saying we've not been terrible at any point this season.
No.
But now we were behind the leaders by some way, and now we're not.
Not been terrible, but we've been exceptionally decent the last few.
Yeah.
So it's made it possible, I think. And you add another win to that. Then you've got
for me, the fact that we've been quite solid at the back throughout the season, and we had a spell obviously where they weren't scoring goals. Now we're combining the two together, and it's paying off. Keeping clean sheets, scoring 3 goals in a game, 4 goals in a game, and that momentum at this time of the season is perfect timing for me, because if we don't win the league outright, you've got that current form going into the playoffs. That's exactly what you need. The confidence through the roof.
A few weeks ago, I spoke to Ash Palmer, interviewed Ash after one of the games, and he was exasperated, because I remember him saying, "What more can we do?" There were some bad ref decisions gone against us, with red cards that were overturned. We've hit the post, great save, we've peppered the teams, but it's not come off. Now it feels like we're still playing the same, but all those things that were going against us are now not going against us.
Yeah, it swings and roundabouts. I mean, a lot of teams will say sometimes, it's only a matter of time. We've got to have some luck sometime, and sometimes you get that for the season where it's like you're waiting for that luck, and you're waiting for that luck, and it doesn't come. You got to make your own luck. If they're not creating chances, they're not going to score goals. They're constantly creating chances. They've been unlucky. They've hit the bar, they've hit the post. They've had bad decisions. But if you continue to generate them chances, you're bound to start scoring goals. So I feel like if the consistency's been there, it's just the luck's probably swung a little bit in our favour a little bit.
Hogs was saying tonight about we were talking about Wembley, and the extra carrot being dangled, if you like, is the fact that we could bring fans, because by that point, well, at the moment as it stands, rules wise, we could. It'd be frightening, wouldn't it? Imagine how many we'd take. That would be an overtaking of the capital that day.
Yeah, it'd be 20 plus, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'll be there, 100%.
In the conference, it's wicked.
Me and Matty will be sat next to you, Chris, in between us with your new cap on.
Yeah. Three matching suits.
3 matching suits, 3 matching caps.
Mate, I want it more than ever now.
100% we'll be there.
Big bottles of Desperados and
Imagine that.
Be, straight vodka. Balls are straight Smirnoff. We're not playing games. We're at Wembley, mate.
Do you know? I have to say, when we played there last time, I think you were there, Dicko. I think
Yeah.
Did you play in that game?
Yeah, was that? I think I might have been there. Rings a bell.
Yeah, that was one of those starting 2-3 days before.
Oh, really? The build-up session.
It was. Oh, mate, we had to. I took a load of friends from uni there.
I was the same, mate. I started about 2-3 days before as well on Pop. No word of a lie, right? Tell you what. This might not go down too well with some of the county fans, but
I've got a bleeper button ready.
I think what day did we play? What day was our game on?
I imagine Sunday.
Was it the Sunday? Might have been the Sunday. It was the 26th. I know it was the 26th. It was exactly 4 months after my little girl was born.
Haven't you got the programme there?
Yeah, it's in the bag. It's in the bag. It's 26th of May we played.
Is it May, yeah.
It was 3 months after Francesca Ava was born. But United played Chelsea, didn't they, a few days earlier in Champions League final? Yeah. Steaming it local. Absolutely in Bluebell I was, Matty. Steaming, mate. Big projector screen. Throwing plastic beer glasses at the projector screen when it was all going wrong.
Is that when Terry slipped?
Terry slipped. That's when Terry slipped. Yeah. Mate, the place erupted. I was steaming, jumping around, people jumping on top of me. I'm thinking, got a final in a couple of days. I better go home now.
You're different, mate.
Liam, I cannot believe this is. I would never have imagined you behaving this way.
You know what? I'm a bit of a quiet one, really. It's not really. We don't partake in, in drunken nights. But United Champions League final, I make exceptions.
When you're a player going like County are in now, going towards this stage of the season, this kind of spell, does pressure start to creep in because you could do this if this happens?
Got to, hasn't it? It's got to. I mean, you're not supposed to feel it, but it's got to. I mean, we spoke the other week about stringing 2 wins together, or 3 wins, or 2 defeats. 2 defeats from now would be devastating because it almost writes off your chances, doesn't it? 2 wins puts you right back in the mix. So there's got to be pressure with something like that. But as pros, we're expected to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what a pro is.
They'll be looking also at if it gets to a point where we know we're not going to win it outright, then you're looking at who you're going to be playing, and obviously that's a big thing. It's like, oh well, if we come there, we're going to play them, and it was a tough one for us because, for me personally, when we got promoted, we played the toughest team in the semis. I think Wickham were probably the toughest team out of all the teams, out of the other 3. That's
Who
right.
were the other ones, Dicko?
It was Rochdale and did Rochdale beat on penalties? Who was it?
I can't remember. That's what was it? You want Swindon? No,
we weren't Swindon. And what's the guy got sent off? What's his name? Centre midfielder Perks. Perks got sent off in that game.
Did he?
Was it Darlington?
He played for Darlington, didn't he? So
it might have been Darlow because one of the Darlow players signed for Rochdale after who'd scored. But yeah, it was, for me, we played the toughest team in the playoffs, in the playoff semis. Wickham were a strong physical team, and if I could choose out of everyone, I would have liked to avoid them for as long as possible. But that will creep into the manager's mind as well. Look at performances, how we've played against these teams, where we're going to finish in the league, and who we're going to play. Because obviously, what is it now? Is it 6? Is it 6 teams in the playoffs?
Yeah. So the champions go up as champions, obviously.
Yeah.
And then 2 and 3, second and third are there. And then you've got 4 underneath them that compete, and obviously these 2 get a bye.
Yeah. So 4 compete. So it's like a quarter final. Isn't it? That's a quarter final, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then 2 of them get through to the semis against. See, obviously, when we were playing, it was just 4. 2 go up. Was it 2 that went up? And 4.
League 2. I thought it was 3 and 1, wasn't it?
Or was it? I thought it was 2 and 1.
Was it?
I'm not sure, but either way, there was only 4 teams in the playoffs, and it was not this. The calculations of, well, if you come second, if you come third, you're playing 6th or 7th or whatever it was. The top one played the bottom, and the two middle ones played each other.
So
Now
it mattered where you finished.
Yeah, it mattered. Now it's like, well, they've got to get past a quarter final before they even think about getting to. So that's a big if as well.
Let me spin this back round at you then, and it's partly I brought it up tonight, but as fans, should we be speaking about this stuff now? I mean, I don't want to say it, but playoffs looks. If we don't win the league, playoffs looks pretty good for money, doesn't it? Can we start talking about this stuff now, or is it a bit too early?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we expect to be in at least be in the playoffs. The momentum we've got, the way we play in, the points we've got on the board. What are we 5 points off? 5 points off second. Obviously, who's up at the top? Is it?
So let me get the league table up.
Is it?
Yeah, but if we win our games in hand,
they've got we've got 2 games on them. So for me personally, I'm looking at Sutton and Torquay. Sutton have got a game in hand on us. We're 5 points behind them both. It's like Matty says, the next 2 games are crucial. You win 2 games in a row, it just takes one of them two to drop 1 game, and then you're 1 step closer. And
exactly.
We've got what have we got left? 44, 42. We've got 10 games. We've got 9 games left. It's more than doable. I'm put it this way. I'd be very, very upset and frustrated, and as well as every county fan and every player and member of staff, if we don't make the playoffs, because for me, we've got to a point where we should most definitely be in the playoffs.
Well, we've got an 8-point cushion in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Albeit Halifax have a game in hand, but so you're looking almost a point per game worse off than every team underneath us.
Yeah.
To lose that position, and I mean, a lot's got to go wrong for that to happen, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for me, I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at top 2. I'm looking at. I want to be up there. I want to be chasing them top 2. I'm not worrying about we're going to be safe. I think the lads have got that mentality as well. The manager, I'm positive the manager will have that mentality. He won't want just a safety net of let's just get over the line, get into the playoffs. Because you're not there, then you've still got to win 2 more games. Possibly 3.
A bit of a lottery, isn't it, when you get
into the playoffs? Exactly. And on the day, by the way, anyone can win. Throughout a season, it's totally different than the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? So I think everyone involved at county, the management, the staff, they're looking at forward to the top. We want to win it outright. We don't want to gamble on playoffs, even though the best way to do it is obviously through the playoffs and playing at Wembley. Everyone knows that. But for me, I feel like the positive. It's only a positive. It feel more negative if you're looking to just make the playoffs. Let's be comfortable. Let's save some players' legs. And nah, we want to be promoted as champions.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, well, moving on from the football then, Dicko, it's been a busy week for you, and we're all about sharing the love. Let's not pretend it didn't happen. What was it like being called up to a podcast almost as big as this one?
Yeah, I got my first. I forgot my first cap, didn't I, for Under the Cosh. It was good. Good banter. Good to see a couple of the familiar faces. He's a good lad, and so was Big John Parkin. I remember my first when I first signed for County. I signed under Chris Turner on the Thursday. I think it was the Thursday I signed. Travelled to Macclesfield away. Boxing Day it was. Travelled to Macclesfield away Boxing Day. And we got dicked 6-0, I think it was, 5 or 6-0. Parkin scored a hat-trick, maybe even 4. Twisted Ash Williams up and got a move. Got a move to Hull the week after. We had Jermaine Easter sent off that game, I remember. Sitting in the stand thinking, I might get a chance now. I could get a chance now. But yeah, it was good. It was a good laugh. Some good stories out there if anyone wants to have a laugh. But I think they edited out the bit where I threw the boys in, didn't I? the weekly podcast. I threw it in.
They never edited it out.
They must have edited it out.
Right. Tell you what, Dicko, wait till I tell John Parkin you're going to have a word with him.
No, we'll all have to go together, mate. It's too big. It was a good crack, mate, and a good laugh. And it seems like it's had some great feedback.
Just something to pick up on there. You mentioned your debut and when you signed and the first game you went to and everything else. Do you, like Matty, as another player, do you remember when you first signed for County and what day of the week it was and who the gaffer was and where he took you for your first game and just little things like Dicko's said there?
Remember it all, yeah. Remember it all. Lordy brought me in from PNE into a trial match. So there's 22 lads, all from big clubs like Blackburn, Barnsley, Preston, Derby, Wigan. They were from everywhere. We just all battled it out, all on trial, all battled it out against each other. And I think they brought Vinny and Tansy into playing the game, and Charlie Ennis and people like that. And they mixed in, and we just had a proper battle. And they've taken 2 of us on trial from the 22. Like, actually got a trial to be, to try and sign for Stockport. So they brought 2 of us in, let the other 20 go, and invited me to play a reserve game against City. So played that, did okay, and then played against Bolton the week after, did okay again. And then Jim pulled me in and offered me a contract, and that was it.
I never knew that. I never knew it went down that road. I thought, obviously, I knew Lordy had brought you in. I thought he'd obviously seen you and brought you in. But I didn't know you had to fight your way through 21 other people, and that takes some doing. It's not easy to stand out with that many people.
It's just a rat race, isn't it? I think I pulled up with my dad. My dad took me at the time, and we saw a big, smart Blackburn Rovers coach. And I was thinking to myself, Jesus, these, because I think Blackburn were in the Prem at the time. I was thinking, Jesus, and then 5 or 6 lads got off there, and I thought, this is going to be high standard. This, it's going to be good. And there was a little point within the trial where I'd say 20, 25 minutes gone. I was doing well. He had another lad who was. I felt like I was dictating things in the middle, but I was on the same team as another lad who was trying to upstage me, and I'm thinking, like, I can go one way or the other here. I can sort of let him have it and let him take over, and they probably won't invite me in. And he was quite obviously one of the better lads, or I can do my best to take it up a notch. And I ended up setting Charlie Ennis up for a goal. Give me a bit of a lift, and then I scored a pretty decent goal myself as well in the same trial. And do you remember Woody, Dicko, Jake Wood?
Jake Wood, yeah.
So Jake was, they were watching at the side of the pitch, and when we were having a little drink break, Jake said to me, like, they're talking about you and stuff, keep doing what you're doing, they're talking about you. So he'd give me another buzz, and then I just took over the game then.
Yeah.
Dictating things, went back inside, had a bit of soup and stuff and something to eat, and Jim just sort of pulled me and just said, want you to come in next week. And that was it. And that, like you say, that was the hard part done, I think, because it's a rat race. It's not nice, a trial situation.
Yeah, of course. Trials are horrible. Horrible. I went on trial when I was younger. I got scouted by Blackburn when I was a kid. I was centre half up until the age of 16. And I went on trial. I was at Bolton. Hated it. Got beat every week. I was marking the likes of Rooney, and he just scored a hat-trick every game. Hated it. And then I actually asked my mum. I just said to Mum, I don't want to play for him anymore.
Really?
Can you tell them? It's like 14 years old, under 13s, under 14s, and I hated it. Just got beat every week. I was just sad. No one wants to lose every single week. No one. So I ended up leaving, and then a week after, I got scouted by Blackburn. So I went down for a trial. A couple of trial days at Blackburn, and just basically said, you're as good as what we've got, but not better. We're not going to offer you anything. So no problem. Went home. 2 weeks later, the scout that scouted me died. They put another scout in our area, and he scouted me for Blackburn. So I went for another trial at Blackburn, had a trial game at Edgeley Park, scored, and signed 2-year contracts. It's crazy. But yeah, it's like you say, it's just a rat race. That's all it is.
I remember thinking at the time, this is serious because I'm at that age now. I think I was either just about to turn 18 or just turned 18. I remember thinking that it's either get on here, take over here, dig in, or get a job. It's that simple. Yeah. Because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I come from the Championship. And Stockport were about to go up into League One. They were knocking on the door. You could look at it as a step down, but I got to Stockport. I was really surprised. I thought, this is pretty wicked, this setup. You know, the running thing's better than the running at Preston here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is the real deal. I'd love to sign here. And I just sort of dug in and I thought, it's either this or get a job. And managed to dig something out the bag. And that was it, yeah. It's just invited in. And then once you're in that environment with playing with like-minded players like Tansy, Vinny, all the other lads, we sort of gelled together. And
yeah,
the football flowed. And like you said before, Chris, I'm not sure if it was before Liam came on, but about having that strength in depth, we built up a reserve side together. That some weeks we play the first team off the pitch, you know, when you play 11v11 on a Friday. And eventually...
Nothing worse than that, by the way.
It does happen, but eventually...
I've said it before, he said the hardest game of the week is sometimes the 11v11.
But we all eventually stepped in. So I broke into the side. Vinny followed me a few weeks later. Tansy in after that. And that became the midfield, and that's exactly what you want.
Pitbull had broke in the start of the season as well.
Yeah, he'd already broken before I even got there, Bully. Yeah, exactly.
Some team. Well, listen, lads, it's been emotional. I'm still wondering about Dicko's fat. I still want to give him something. I still want to give him a bit of grief for showing up late.
I'm all right, mate. After that song, that's the voice.
It was a good song. Yeah.
Well, I might surprise you with another shirt next week. Pull another shirt out there. Who we got on next week? You have to WhatsApp me who we've got on next week.
Did you say a hat?
I like that. I like it, mate. You've done really well there. It matches your hoodie as well, and your wall behind. I got
accused of being a certain type of having a certain type of profession when I put it on and went into a gym.
A golfer?
No, like an illegal profession.
Really good.
But yeah, no. Listen, we've got some good stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah.
By the way, beer gardens are open now, so I reckon we could have a little live show.
That's the pub.
I hear you. I heard that.
Listen, I'm just spitballing ideas here, you know, but I think it could happen. We could do a little daytime or maybe a little weekend, a little Sunday one.
Ooh, Sunday one.
Sunday podcast in the beer garden.
I like it. Let's get the weather up.
I'm just thinking of the fans, really, for the background.
You're like a philanthropist.
I'm like a chameleon. I just adapt.
I like it. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's arrange it and let's get a few names down.
It's a date. Bring your cap.
Put it back on again now. Right, boys, I'm going to shoot.
Top man, Chris.
It's always a pleasure. We'll see you again next week.
Cheers.
And we go again.
Chris.
Let's go,
champ.
Let's go, champ.